this is Samse again from GamingOnLinux.com, and today we are playing Soul Axiom. So this was this is a game that was sent to us, I think like a week or two ago, or something like that. And it's currently in early access. It's a first-person puzzle game, and I decided that I would feature this game because I find this game to be quite interesting in many ways, and it seems that I have been bitten by a first-person puzzle game bug or something, because I seem to find these games entertaining, at least since Tales Principle was released. So, without further ado, let's jump into the game and I'll show you the ropes. So, the game is currently in early access, but one of the things I'd like to mention about that is that most of the games that I get, and most of the games I play here, are given to us in the form of Steam keys. And there's that weird bug, which this is a Unity game, so there have been some weird mouse bugs. On my laptop I can't play this game at all because for some reason it seems there's that mouse bug which causes you to look up constantly. It doesn't happen on my desktop though. I'm not quite sure what causes that, because it only happens on my laptop. But anyway, so what I was meaning to say was that most of the games I play here are sent to us in the form of Steam keys or Hubble keys or something like that. So when I started playing this game initially, I didn't even know that this game was in early access. I hadn't looked at the store or anything, I just fired up the game and started playing. And one thing that strikes me about this game is that this game is very complete in many ways. There are some bugs in the game, and this game is no way complete, but I'll get to that a bit later. So anyway, this is basically the hub area of the game, where we get to select all the levels that we want to play. And kind of like Tales Principle, you can play the levels that are given to you in any order you'd like, basically. I'm going to go up so I can show you the hub area. So this is basically, the game is divided into chapters, and this is basically the first chapter. You have a relatively long tutorial period before you enter this hub area, but this is basically where the actual game starts. And this might seem a bit confusing to you, so I'll explain what this world around us is all about. So we are currently in a computer simulation, basically. This is a digital afterlife. It's called Elysia, and the idea here, which I've gathered through reading various kinds of logs which are spread across these levels and stuff, is that this Elysia is basically, it's a digital afterlife in which you can sort of upload your soul, or that's basically what they call it. It's basically a digital representation of your consciousness, I think. Well, at least that's what I've gathered so far. And that allows you to basically upload memories into this virtual world. And you can live those memories, basically your best memories, for an eternity. So it's basically, it's digital immortality, and all these levels, which I can access here using these teleporters, are basically memories from other people, their so-called best days. But as you can see, the best days are not necessarily the happiest ones. So we have uploaded our soul into Elysia, you get sort of thrown in without really anything told to you. The most of the narrative is in the form of various kinds of logs that you can collect on these levels. There's a bit of narrative before you enter this area, but that's basically it. You're just thrown in, and you need to figure out what's up. And not everything is as nice as it would at first seem. But anyway, I think it's time to actually talk a bit about what this game does. So here are the first levels. This is the first chapter. I've played through all of these, and if we go up, here is the second chapter of the game, and once again there are 4 levels. And one thing to note about this game is that what they've done is they have released their early access game in the sort of like this. So they have the first areas, the first chapter, the tutorial area and stuff like that, that's basically complete. But if we go up here, once again, I decided to drop down. These areas can't be accessed yet, so the game is not complete. They are still adding stuff. There's only one of these levels on the second chapter that we can actually access, and this level is sort of bugged. I'll talk about that a bit later, but I'm going to show you around just a couple of the puzzles that that this game has, and also the sort of the gimmick of this first person puzzle. So basically what you do is you have 3 powers. You start with 1, and then you acquire the second one a bit later, and the third one. And these powers are basically the thing you use to solve these puzzles. So I'm going to show that just now. So this is the first memory, and it's sort of this jungle with it's very Indiana Jones-like place. And here you can actually see what this game. This is also the thing that I really like about this game, is that this game contains very different kinds of environments. Of course, if you look at the texture quality and the models, the game is not. It's not like AAA quality, but the environments look very pretty, and that's one of the things I really like about this game, and the environments vary very much. So I'm going to show you those couple of well, I'm probably going to end up showing you all the levels that are currently available. But anyway, let's talk a bit about this power. So the first power you get is a phasing power, which allows you to phase objects in and out if they are certain color. For example, I can't phase this. That's green. So objects you can interact with are often colored in a certain way. So these throttle blades of this helicopter are green, which means that I have to use the green power to actually interact with it. And this is called the play power. The play power allows you to manipulate objects, to move them around, to rotate them, and stuff like that. And that's what we are going to do. So if I right click, it allows me to rotate the rotor blades, and if I press the left mouse button, I can bind the object in the state that it is when I decided to freeze it. And of course what that did is that moved the raft here so that I can access this monkey statue and click this, which is going to unlock the rest of the map for us. So that's basically a simple puzzle. So now we get to access the second area of the map, and this is how the game basically works. You unlock more areas by completing these puzzles. and once again, even though this game isn't like... some people ask me... well, some people like to talk about graphical fidelity in an objective manner. Basically, how high the texture resolutions are and how many polygons the models have. I base my game reviews, or basically all of my criticism, on subjective things, mainly. Except when the game objectively is unplayable. But even though this game, it probably isn't the prettiest game you're ever going to see, I still find it quite beautiful. The environments are well made. They are very consistent, and overall I like the areas that are around here. I'm probably going to go back, because if I complete too many of these puzzles, I'm just going to end up spoiling too much of this stuff. So I think I'm going to head back, and I'm going to show you those couple of areas that we have in the game, these other maps. So this was basically the first memory of someone, where basically these are not our memories as far as I know. These are memories from other people, and we are sort of visiting them and trying to figure out what's up with this whole Elysia thing. And based on the, once again, the mouse bug, but that's a very minor mouse bug. When you enter new areas, especially when you enter the hub, you usually end up looking down at the ground for some reason. Probably just Unity being Unity, I guess. But yeah, that's a very minor bug compared to the mouse bug that causes you to always look up and freeze the game. But anyway, so let's take a look at the second level. And all of these levels are themed very well. The first level was basically you're an sort of an adventurer or an explorer in the jungle, trying to figure out mysteries of a temple. And this one, as you can see, is a military base. And you can look down that way, and you can see there's like a city burning. So this is basically a war zone. And these some of these levels are actually the game is not like it's not. For some reason I can't... Oh, right, I pressed C and that made me crouch down for some reason. Okay, fine. But not all of these levels are like super happy. When I started this game, I thought this game was like a relatively happy, bright adventure thing with maybe just some minor narrative. But now that I've played through a couple of these levels, the game is actually surprisingly grim. Especially this level. There are some there's even some scary stuff on this level. It's not like super scary. You're not going to get like scared. You're not going to. It's not a horror game or anything like that. But it's still surprisingly grim, and there's some excellent narrative in this game. Anyway, so this is another puzzle here. I'm probably going to show this to you. So sometimes you often use your powers to complete puzzles, but sometimes you need to just interact with things manually. So here our job is to basically press those in the right order. The game gives you some hints, and we can see there's a drone flying around here. I think I might be able to see it. I didn't. But there's this camera feed here showing us what actually happened there. So in this puzzle, our job is to open these couple of containers to actually enter this area here. here I can actually show you the play power again. So now we need to just unlock this. I guess this is a command center or something. And we just need to repeat. Okay, that's the wrong one. I'm not sure if... Okay, I got it. So here you can see what's actually happening. And... well, I guess that was that. Oh yeah, here. So, I'm just going to play a bit further on this level because there are some things that I'd like to show you. This is also a very minor part of the... or a very minor puzzle. So our job here is to fuel this tank, which was raised here. So what we need to do is we need to get this here using these valves, and each valve, as you can see, moves the marker a certain amount. So what I believe we need to do is we need to get it like there, and is it like... oh yeah, it's not... I can't really remember how this worked. Okay. And that moves it back. Was it something like... I think that moves it just back completely. Yeah, when it reaches this, it just goes back. I actually can't remember how this worked. But oh yeah, we can always do this, I believe. So that's going to move it over, and this is going to move it back. Too much. Oh, there it is. So now that the tank, once we operate it, it should create a hole for us. Okay. So we need some light in here. And, oh yeah, this is actually an elevator. So this should bring us down to the... down into the base itself. And not all of these puzzles are... many of the puzzles are just basically you operating certain things in certain order, or you finding stuff to actually properly animate, or you just facing things in certain order. But I believe here is a puzzle that requires actually investigating the environment. So sometimes the game throws some quite tricky puzzles at you. So I'm not going to spoil this one for you, but you're probably going to figure out what's up with this puzzle already. But anyway, some of the puzzles are really well made, and the puzzles are not too difficult. And because each level can be played in basically any order, and I believe I'm stuck down here for now. And I actually, now I'm actually not sure if I can get back, because this doesn't seem to allow me to get back up, which would take me to the teleporter. So I guess I'm going to have to exit to menu and hope that that takes me back to the hub. I'd like to have an option to go back. Well, basically just for this, but I guess that does it fairly well. But overall, the puzzles are, even though they are not like super difficult, I bet they are going to get more difficult when you actually get to later chapters. But these first puzzles, they were not like each level has a mix of like more difficult and less difficult puzzles, and the puzzles vary in like style a lot. So sometimes the puzzle is all about finding certain objects and animating them. Sometimes it's about doing certain, like, for instance, turning certain valves in a certain order, and sometimes you have to break stuff. So this is a power that I won't be able to really showcase to you too much, but what this does is it allows you to create fire. So this is basically used to destroy objects. The game doesn't really seem to have any combat in it, which I really like. I don't think this game needs to be like I don't think combat would really add to the experience at all. And by the way, this is one of the most beautiful levels in the game. But anyway, what we need to do on this level, and this is pretty much as... You will figure this one out super easy, so I'm not going to even bother, like, not spoiling it to you. You have this boat, and you need to fix it. This is the list of the things you need. And I naturally circled it. Well, I believe the game circles that for you, because the crank is here already. I don't think this changes. But we need the wheel, the motor, and the propeller. So, and we naturally get that stuff from the lighthouse. There isn't really anything on this island, but if we look there, we can actually see that there's another island. So this level is actually pretty big. There's a lot of stuff on this level, and the levels are not like super short. Of course, when you know the puzzles, it won't take too long to actually complete these levels. And even when you don't know the puzzles, you still won't be spending a whole lot of time on each level. I think it takes like maybe 20 to 30 minutes to complete each level. And as you can see, there's some interesting stuff in here. And on this level there are also a couple of notes that I can show you. Oh, and by the way, we need to play with the play power here to actually get up. So we need to freeze that just so that it won't go back. If I don't freeze it, what happens is that it goes back. So the play power doesn't really allow you to move objects like freely. Objects really move one way and the other, and that's basically it. And you can freeze them in any like orientation you want on that certain like on that certain track, basically. So using this power won't allow me to like move this thing outside or anything. It just moves along on this certain track, basically. But and overall, this here is not super difficult. You should be able to figure this one out fairly easily. And these are also some... I wonder if I would be... Well, that's the... Okay, so basically now I have 3 of the 4 objects that I need. Oh, here is one of the sort of logs or notes. So this is employee information for George Oswald. George Oswald Davies, it seems. So you will like be able to read all these kinds of notes that will actually tell you a bit about the backstory and the people that... Actually, is that something, or is that just a... I don't think this is anything. I think that's just a particle effect of some sort. But anyway, let's go up and let's actually fetch the parts so that I can show you the rest of the island. So far I haven't been able to show you the phase power too much, and these first levels, they don't really have anything but the phase and the play power. So but anyway, that's our final object here. And it seems we don't have any notes here, so we can just jump down. You can die in this game. There are certain areas where you can die, but you're not going to die from like fall damage or anything. You don't really take damage. If you run into certain areas, you are just simply going to die, and then you are going to respawn. And the game has plenty of checkpoints, so if you fail, you don't have to replay too much. But anyway, let's fix the boat and let's go on the other island. Now we have everything here, and now we can just press E here, and that's going to take us to the other island. Now let's hope that this boat works both ways. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to go through the main menu once again. But I can look around freely. This game doesn't have a whole lot of cutscenes. You get one cutscene per level when you complete the level. And those cutscenes basically just tell you a bit more about the what the level is about. I think I can spoil you a bit about this level. Each level tells a story, and that story usually has two sides. For one person it's the best day of their life, and for another person it's basically it's a catastrophe basically. But on this level in particular, the owner of this memory saved a kid from drowning, and that's why it's like his best day, and that's why he wanted to sorry, that's why he wanted to save this memory in particular. But it seems that these some of these memories are actually harmful for others, and there's this weird thing that I actually got some clues about recently, about something in the Elysia called soul donation, where you're not really becoming, you're not like getting into the Elysia as a customer. You basically donate your soul, and your soul is going to be used in other people's memories. So yeah, that's interesting. Also, this is a puzzle. Well, there's going to be a puzzle here that involves the phase power. So I'm going to show that. And as you can see, I can freeze these objects pretty much the way I want to. I think there's also a note here. I'm sorry I'm spoiling a bit, but hopefully I'm not spoiling too much. I want to show as much stuff as I can. So this is a screenshot from a website from the era of the Elysia, and yeah, as you can see, this talks about a girl that almost drowned but was saved. But anyway, let's complete one puzzle here, and then I'm just going to move on, show you another level. So here is the phase power which we can use. So with the phase power we can phase objects in or out. In this case there are these planks highlighted with blue, and I can phase them out with the right click, and that's going to drop a cannon down, and these cannons are also, they are going to play a part in the puzzle. But let's just I'm just going to exit to the menu, get back to the hub, and I'm going to show you I think one more level. Well, I guess I can show you the morgue as well. Anyway, this is going to once again take us back. And then I can show you the final level of the of the first chapter. So this is basically, this level is a museum or something like that. And the teleporter is being noisy. And this is email stuff. I'm just going to skip that. But as you can see, all of these levels are very well structured. They each have their own like they have their own feel to it, and they are very consistent. These levels, the jungle level is probably one of the like the ugliest ones, because it simply has a lot of stuff going on, and the because of the leaves and stuff, the model quality really shows. But here, where there are less like leaves and stuff and more like simple architecture, the game actually looks pretty And here is one of the puzzles that I'm basically going to show you this, because this is a very simple puzzle. So as you can see, there are these bones hidden in the bushes, and well, you can probably imagine what I'm going to do with these. So because there isn't much you can do with the play power, apart from like moving objects from point A to point B. It's not really. It's very obvious that we. It's very obvious that we need to just complete the skeleton here, and that's going to unlock the first piece of the level. So on each level, you get these pieces, and these allow you to unlock the exit to the level. So you need to complete like. Usually it's 3 puzzles, sometimes it's a bit more, I think. But in this case, I can just go to this terminal here, and that's going to plop the first piece in. But let's go back to the hub, and I'm going to show you the final level of the game that's currently available. So this game is going to have 6 chapters. Currently there's basically only 1 complete chapter and 1 level from the second chapter. I've checked the forums, and it seems that they are going to release the second level of the second chapter, which is probably going to be this one, soon enough. But it's far from complete on the like. You can spend like 4 hours, I think. Yeah, 4 hours, about 4 hours in the game at the moment, but it's not a complete game. So that's one thing that you should really keep in mind. And because this is the first level of the second chapter, and this is basically after I got this power, we can actually use this power here to melt this ice. So obviously this is a morgue, and it's very cold, as you can see, so of course fire is going to be super useful here. But this level is also a bit broken at the moment. It seems that I'm not completely able to interact with certain objects on this level, and I'm going to show that to you just now. Hopefully it's. I can hope that it works, but I also sort of hope that it doesn't, because that means that I still haven't been able to replicate this bug. So we have these 3 furnaces here, and each one of them has like these very flashing logs inside them. So obviously what we need to do is we need to unlock them. But after I unlock this one, and I can, as you can see now, it's lit and stuff, but now I can't access these at all. So even if I press E, it doesn't work. So I think this is just broken. I think you should be able to unlock, well, open all of these furnaces and light the fires. But it seems that I can't do that. And there's also this, and I can't actually interact with this anymore. The only thing I can now interact with on this level is the teleporter. So I think this level is broken, but I'm hoping that they will fix it. Other than that, this game is to the point. it's very complete to the point it has been built. So of course they don't have all the levels in, but then again, the levels they have are actually quite polished. So the game has a lot of polish, but it just doesn't have all the content that the final product is going to have. Of course there are going to be good things and bad things about this. Of course it means that the game is quite short, as it is. And these are, by the way, all the various kinds of objects that you get when you complete the levels. You get these sort of things here. And I believe that unlocked the second chapter. There's also this, which is the this is sort of the library. So here you can actually see all the, like, I think this just takes us down, I think, or something. Wait, actually these take us to the chapters that I believe. Let's check. Yeah, these take us back to the chapters. So it seems we have like 4 chapters in the library at the moment, but of course only 2 of them are accessible. And the library also stores the cutscenes from each level. So these are the cutscenes that you're going to get at the end of each level. I'm not going to show them to you because that would spoil too much, obviously. The cutscene quality isn't too high. I'm not sure. It might be intentional, but I'm not sure. But they tell a bit about the memory you are in at the moment. But that's basically everything Soul Axiom has going on, in it at the moment. I think this is a very good first-person puzzle game. Of course, it's very short at the moment, so I think I'd recommend you to wait just a bit for at least for the second chapter to be built. But definitely keep your keep an eye out for this game, because this is, so far, it has been a very pleasant experience. The narrative is awesome, the level design is awesome once again, and what they've done with Unity engine here is actually it's surprisingly good stuff. The devs really know what they're doing with this game, I think, and basically everything here is just awesome. Of course, the problem here is that it's still in early access. There are a couple of bugs, especially if you have encountered mouse bugs in Unity engine games recently. I'd recommend you to hold off from buying this game, because seriously, that mouse bug can make this game completely unplayable. But if you want to be adventurous, and if you absolutely want to support this, then go pick it up. It's 4 hours of fun, and I bet you are probably, if you find all the secret stuff, you might even find be able to play this game a bit more than that. Obviously, there's not going to be a whole lot of replayability here, because it's a puzzle game. You will, once you complete the puzzle once, you know how to complete it the second time. But I do recommend to keep an eye out for this game, because once this game is complete and once they have fixed all the bugs, then I bet this is going to be an awesome experience. I have thoroughly enjoyed it so far, so I bet there are probably going to be some of you that are also going to enjoy it as well. But anyway, that's pretty much all for it for today. This has been me playing Soul Axiom, and we will see in future videos.